Hi everyone. So today we're going to pick back up on what we started to work on Tuesday. Remember, we had this crazy thing that happened to Miss P and I. Some aliens came down and they took all of the information out of our brains about how to divide decimals by 10, 100, and 1000 and multiples of 10, 100, and 1000. It's crazy. We can't remember anything. So we need your help to teach us how to do this. And you were such experts on how to multiply by 10, 100, and 1000 and how to multiply by decimals by multiples of 10, 100, and 1000 that I'm pretty confident in you guys that you can help us out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remind you because the aliens, they didn't take away the multiplication. It's kind of a funny thing. I'm not sure why. We were thinking maybe they had a quiz on the division and they needed that information, but I still remember how to multiply by 10, 100, and 1000. So I'm just going to remind you of what's happening there, and you can apply that to division. So if I am multiplying a number by 10, let's look at 72. I'm multiplying 72 times 10, and I would get 720. Okay, let's say I did 213. And then multiply that by 10, I would get 2,130. So we've talked about in the past that we're adding that zero on, but what is also happening is on the end of that whole number, 72, I have an imaginary decimal point. Even if I don't see it, it's still there because that's our place value chart. And what's really happening is I'm taking that decimal and I'm shifting it one place to the right and filling that in with our zero. Because the number, when we're multiplying it by 10, it's growing to a larger number by one place. So that's what's happening in these two examples. And the same thing is what's going to happen in a decimal problem. So let's say I had 5 and 62 hundredths times 10. Okay, I'm still going to make that number grow larger by one place. So to do that, I'm going to take my decimal and shift it one place to the right. So my answer would be 56 and 2/10. Now let's say I took the same problem, 5 and 62 hundredths, and let's say I multiplied that by 100. Now I'm going to shift that decimal two places to the right. So now I have 562. And now you probably see where I'm going here. Now I'm going to do the same number and multiply it by 1000. I'm going to shift that decimal three places to the right, but watch what's going to happen. 1, 2, 3. I have one extra place, so I'm going to fill that with a place holding 0, and I get 5,620. Okay, so keeping all of that in mind, when we're multiplying by 10, 100, and 1000, the numbers are growing larger, and we're shifting the digits in that place in the decimal point one place by 10, two places when I multiply by 100, and three places when I multiply by 1000. So what you need to think about is if we're doing that work for multiplying by 10, 100, and 1000, how would it be slightly different when we are dividing by 10, 100, and 1000? Think of when we're multiplying, the numbers are getting larger, and when you're dividing, the numbers are going to get smaller. So think about how that slight shift is going to happen. So your job today, like we talked about on Tuesday, is to come up with a way to teach myself and Miss P how to do this work. We need your help. And what I want you to do is to work on this first. And when you check in with Miss P at your math station, she's going to be expecting you to teach her. When you finish your plan on how you're going to teach Miss P and I, there are going to be some workbook pages that I would like you to complete that are going to be linked in your schedule. I'm also going to I'm going to be adding a video in to your schedule on how to divide decimals by 10, 100, and 1000. So if you're feeling a little stumped, I would check out that video to help you out. Good luck. I'm excited to see your work, and I'm really counting on you to help us out so that we can gain this information back.